Hello students, welcome back to our next lecture of plant taxonomy. Here today we are going to study or start the taxonomic hierarchy. So as the name suggests, hierarchy means the sequence, that is the arrangement, sequential arrangement. Arrangement according to the rules or the laws. Okay, so what are the rules behind them? What are the principles we are going to study now. So let's start with the taxonomic hierarchy. So, what are the principles and rules of that taxonomic hierarchy? How it arranged, or on what basis, or on what principles or rules it will be arranged? Okay. So the principles of taxonomy is the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature is based on the following principles. So these rules they are given by the ICBN, that is the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. So these are based on the following principles. So botanical nomenclature, first of all, the botanical nomenclature is independent of zoological nomenclature. So they both are different. Okay. uh, that is the rules and principles, they are different from that of the zoological nomenclature, and the application of that names of taxonomic group is determined by means of nomenclatural types. So when we give the name or the when we want to give the name to a particular taxonomic groups, so it is determined by means of its nomenclatural types. Its nomenclatural types means, so there are some representative species are there, type are there. On the basis of that representative type, these names will be given. Okay, so there are various types, that is they are present. The various authors who first that is identified that plant, they mention the type, or they that is the that particular type is preserved there. So with taking the reference of that type, we that is all the taxonomists or the names are given to that taxonomic groups. Okay, so the nomenclature of taxonomic group is based on priority of publication. So when we want to give the name to a particular taxonomic group, so this taxonomic group who will be or um, that is the publications, that is the when does its publication takes place, or the date of that publication or the period of that publication will be considered here. So the first come first, that is basis, on that basis the priority will be given. So if the publication is for example, if the publication was published in that is 1980, and second publication is that is published in 1981, so we have to consider the first publication, that is 1980. So the priority, it must be given to the first publication. Okay, the earlier publication you can say. Okay, the scientific names of taxonomic groups are treated as Latin regardless of their derivation. So these taxonomic names which are given to the particular taxonomic groups, they are in Latin language. They are treated as Latin language, and regardless of their derivation, where they from wherever they derive, but their scientific names, they are in a Latin language. Okay, so these are some of the principles of taxonomy. Then next principle is the next rule is, all the rules and recommendations have been contained in 75 articles. So now the rules of this hierarchy, taxonomic hierarchy, are that these all the rules, they are that is written or placed or contained in 75 articles. There are 75 articles in which these all the rules regarding this taxonomic hierarchy or naming of nomenclature is all related with the taxonomy is placed in a 75 articles. So it includes all the relevant information concerning the naming of plants. So these all the 75 articles, they have the information concerning about the naming of plants, and the recommendations are usually practical applications of rules and their major objective is to bring about greater uniformity and clearness in future nomenclatural matters. So why these rules are that formed? Because to bring about the uniformity, or for the you can say the clarity, okay, or the practical applications of these rules. They are the major objective to bring about that the greater uniformity and clearness in future nomenclature matters. So when there are something concrete is that is present there, so we have to take the references from that, and on the basis of that references the future study will be easy. Okay, for that the rules are the present there, and according to that rules we follow that rules, and there will be a greater uniformity and the clearness. Okay, so first, that is rule principal ranks of taxa. So these ranks in ascending sequence are that is the hierarchy, the sequential arrangement. We have discussed it earlier. That is what is the sequence, that is ascending and descending. So the lowest rank taxa is the species. So from if we go ascending, that is from lower to higher, then the lowermost that is rank is species. Then upper to species genus, then family, then order, then class, then division, and then the uppermost is kingdom. This is the ascending. And opposite to the, that is when descend, when we see the descending order, then it goes from upper to the lower side, from kingdom to the species. So these are the main ranks, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. 7 main ranks will be there. Okay, so but when the any rank or any group is it contains a vast number of plants or vast number of data, then it will be divided into subcategories. So additional ranks can be created by adding the prefix sub to the terms denoting the ranks. For example, kingdom, it includes the subkingdom, then division, subdivision, class, subclass, order, suborder, family, subfamily, then genus, subgenus, species, subspecies. So all the ranks, all the groups, they have the subdivisions or additional ranks. When there is a need to include the additional rank, then we have to add the prefix sub to this rank. Okay, so this is about the ranking, how the sequence of that rank is there. Okay, then the second one is typification. So what does it mean? Typification, as I said earlier, there are nomenclatural types are there. So there are number of types are there. These are the representative specimens, and these, from that representative specimens, anyone can take the reference, anyone can see the similarities and differences according to that type. Okay, so a nomenclatural type, or it also singular form, it known as the typus. It is that element or is that object or that thing to which the name of a taxon is permanently attached. Okay, so uh, this is the specific, this is the specimen. Okay, this is a permanent specimen that from that specimen the name of the taxa is given. Okay, so that the name of that taxon is permanently attached to that type, that nomenclatural type. Okay, whether as a correct name or a synonym. So the although or if the name is correct, or it will be its synonym also. So both the names, they are related with a specific type, nomenclatural type. Okay, every nomenclatural every taxon, it has its own nomenclatural type, and it is permanently attached to that type. Okay, so on the basis or with reference to that taxa, the name will be given. Okay, so this is the nomenclatural type or typus. In for that the element or our that plant or the element or these things, they are attached to that of the type permanently. Okay, So there are various kinds of type specimens employed in. So specimens, they are of various types. So according to that, there are holotype, then lectotype, isotype, syntype, and neotype. So these are all the type specimens. These are all the type specimens from which the name of the taxon is attached, is given, or it attached. Okay, so let's look it one by one. First is holotype. It is a single specimen or other element used by the author or designated by him as the nomenclatural type. So when we want to give a name to a particular taxon, so we have to refer any perfect, correct specimen. So that specimen is the holotype, and that holotype is designated by the by that author who identified or who discovered that specimen. Okay, so from that specimen a particular name will be given to a particular taxon. So it is a representative specimen. Okay, so it is a single specimen or a single element used by the author, or it will be designed or it would be designed by that author as a or it is preserved as a herbarium, or it is preserved as a specimen. Okay, so it is preserved by that author, and by from that on the basis of that specimen we have to give the name to the particular taxon. Okay, so it is a holotype. It is a you can say it's a original specimen. That original specimen, from that original specimen we referred or we that is give the we take the reference from that original specimen and give the name to a particular taxon. Okay, then second type is lectotype. So in lectotype it is also a specimen selected from the original material. So when the holotype is the original material, but from that original material one of the specimen is selected by a specific author. Okay, so it is a specimen selected from the original material, from the original holotype, to serve as a nomenclatural type. So in lectotype the specimen is not original, but as from that original specimen the author is selected that specimen as a type specimen. From the original that is collection he collected some of them from that original collection, and serve as a nomenclatural type in the event of holotype. Okay, so holotype is the original, but the original, from that original collection one of the specimen is collected by the author, and it is present there for the that is reference. Okay, so it is a selected from this original material to serve as a nomenclatural type in the event of holotype having been lost or destroyed. Okay, if the holotype or original material is lost, then the collected material from the original one is served as a specimen type. Okay, or even when the holotype was indicated as the type of publication. Okay, this is the lectotype. Lectotype is not the original material, but it is collected from the original material and serve as a specimen, reference specimen. But holotype is the actual collected original material. Okay, then in the third case the isotype. Third is the isotype. So isotype, it is the specimen believed to be the duplicate of holotype. So when there is no original specimen is there, then no lectotype is there also there, that is the collection from the original material. If both are not available, then isotype means the duplicate of holotype. It looks same. That is, that specimen isotype is looking same as that of the holotype. So it is a duplicate one. So it is not actual, it is not a original, but it looks like that. That means it's a duplicate of the original. Okay, so this is the isotype. If the both are not available, if holotype and lectotype are lost or not available, then isotype can be referred. Okay, so then syntype. In case of syntype, it refers to one or more specimens cited by the author when no holotype was designated. In this case, one or more specimens, that is the it is like that of the holotype, and the author has cited them, so that that specimen is known as the syntype. Okay, then in case of neotype, the specimen or other element selected to serve as nomenclatural type when all the material on which holotype was based is missing. So up to the syntype, it is all based on the original material. All these specimens, they are, that is they serve as on the basis of the holotype, that is on the original material. But if there is not any availability, if there is no availability of any such kind of specimens or any such type of material based on the holotype, then new type, that is the new material, will be that is considered. Okay, so all the material on which holotype was based is missing, then the neotype, that is the specimen or the other element, that is will be discovered. So types specimens of names of taxa must be preserved permanently and cannot be living plant or cultures. So all these specimens, they are not living plants because they are the ancestral plants. Okay, so they must be preserved and preserved as a herbarium, or preserved in some anything, that is that preserved specimens, they that is act as a nomenclatural type. Okay, so these are some of the specimen types or the nomenclatural types on the basis of which the name will be given, the reference will be taken. Okay, so these are the types. Now the third rule is priority. So what does it mean? Priority means we give the first preference to that, that is the priority. The nomenclature of a taxonomic group is based upon the priority of publication. So this nomenclature, or to give the name of a particular taxon, is based on what? Is based on the priority of publication, who published it earlier. Related with that taxa, the that is the related with that taxa, the that is, you can say, the literature who published first. The according to their publications, that is according to when they are published, when they are published their articles, the date of that articles or the year of that articles, the earliest publication has given the priority. Okay, so it is based upon the priority of publication. Each taxon of a family level or of a lower rank, that is family, then genus, then species. So the from family to the species level, they bear only one correct name. But for following 8 families, alternative names are permitted. So up to the family, from the family, this priority, that is this rule is not that is applicable for the that is higher rank, above the family. Okay, that is order, class, division and kingdom. But from the family up to the species, subspecies, variety, all these things, they are this rule is applicable, that is priority rule is applicable for those that this rule, that is the only one correct name is given to that particular taxon, that is family has only one particular name, then genus has one particular name, species has only one particular name. But this rule is not applicable for the higher rank. But there are always exception for always anything. So like that, these 8 families that are written here, these 8 families, they that is this following they have the alternative names, they are permitted, that is to give the alternative name to that family is permitted below the family or the up to the family level. Okay, so first is palmy. Palmy means the palm family. the palm plants are there. So the alternative name of that palmy family is the Ericaceae. So Ericaceae, it is based on the type Erica. It is based on the name is given, that is Ericaceae name is given to the palmy family on the basis of the our nomenclatural type. That is that nomenclatural type, the name of that nomenclatural specimen is the Erica. From when we consider on when we get the reference of the original, that is it may be holotype, it may be a isotype, it may be a neotype, whatever it is, but that nomenclatural type is Erica, and from that we give the name to that palmy family to the to Ericaceae. Okay, so all all the names, all the taxonomic names have a particular type, nomenclatural type, from which the name is given, that is attached to that nomenclatural type, and the name of that family is given according to that type. Okay, so Gramineae is another family whose alternative name is Poaceae. That is the grass family, and it is based on the Poa. That is the specimen Poa is there, and it is based on that Poa. Okay. Then Cruciferae. Cruciferae, the alternative name is Brassicaceae. It is based on the genus or it is based on the specimen Brassica. Then Leguminosae. Leguminosae is the our legume family. It the alternative name is Fabaceae. It is based on the Faba. That is specimen is Faba. Then Guttiferae, based alternative name is Clusiaceae, based on the Clusia gene, that is specimen. Then Umbelliferae, that is coriander family, has its alternative name Apiaceae, based on the that is specimen type Apium. Then Labiata Tulsi family is the another name is Lamiaceae, based on type that is Lamium. Then Compositae, it is a sunflower family. The alternative name is Asteraceae, based on the type Aster. Okay, so these are the specific types for the specific family. So all the taxon has its specific type. Okay, on the basis of that they have given the name. They are that is name will be given for on the basis of that. Okay, so this is the third, that is priority. Then next one is the names of taxa above the rank of the family. So how the name is given to the taxa which are placed above the family. Okay, the name of a division is to be taken from distinctive characters of the division or from the name of an included genus. So which type of genus included in that division, the name will be given according to that, or it may be given by its distinctive characters, the characters they are present in that particular that is division. Okay, it should end in phyta. The division, the name of the division, that is whatever it may be, but it ends with a common suffix, that is phyta, phyta. Okay, so it is always ends with a phyta, except in fungi where it should end in mycota. So fungi is the exception, but all the remaining plants, they are remaining taxon, they are present in a particular division, they are end with the suffix phyta. Then the name of subdivision is taken in a similar manner. It should end in phytina. So if the subdivision is there, then their end or the name of that particular subdivision is ends with a particular suffix, that is phytina, except again in fungi where it should end in mycotina. Okay, so the name of a class or subclass should have the endings Opsida. Okay, so it is known as the Opsida, Opsida. Okay, that's like that. The names of families, subfamilies, tribes, and subtribes. So the name of family should normally have an ending ACEAE, as we have seen earlier. That is Poaceae, then Fabaceae, then Lamiaceae. So all these families, they have the ending, that is ACEAE. Okay, The families should have an ending A, C, E, A, E. Okay, the name of a subfamily, if there is a subfamily is present, then that subfamily have an ending O, I, D, E, A, E. Okay, a tribe is designated in a similar manner with the termination EAE, and a subtribe with the termination INEAE. So every taxon have their particular or specific endings or suffix, that is division has different, then subdivision has different, then all the things, all the up to the subtribe, it is different for different rank of the taxa. Okay, so these are the specific rules by giving the name to a particular taxon. Then the next one is names of genera and subdivisions of genera. Okay, the name of a genus may be chosen from any source or may be compared in an absolutely arbitrary manner. So that if we want to give the name to a particular genus or a particular subdivision of that genus, the name, they are chosen from any source, whatever may be the source. There may be it may be a habitat, it may be a locality, it may be a region, or all these things, they have different sources, or it should be it would be the arbitrary manner. So whatever that is the author decided, he can give the name to a particular genera and the subgenera. The name may sometimes comprise of two words. One particular name is not here. In some cases, one particular name is not applicable to the genus, but the author wants to give the two names to a particular specific one genus. But these words, when he gave the that is two names to a particular genus, then it should be joined by a hyphen. So it is a rule. If there is one name, then there is no need. But if the genus has two names, okay, so that two names, they should be joined with a hyphen. In between these two names there should be a hyphen. Okay, so this is the rule. Okay, then the name of a subdivision of a genus is a combination of a generic name and a subdivisional epithet connected by a term. So if the subdivision, if the name is given to a subdivision, then it is a combination of the genus name and the epithet of that, and the subdivisional epithet. So it is a genus first name and the subdivisional name, that is they are connected. Okay, with the connected term denoting its rank. Okay, the epithet is either of the same form or a generic name or plural adjective agreeing in gender with the generic name written with a capital initial letter. So this epithet which is given to the subdivision, it will be it may be same, it may be same form as the generic name, or it may be a plural adjective of that generic name. Okay, written in capital initial letter. Okay, so the generic name is also written as a capital initial letter, and this epithet should also written in a capital letter, initial letter. Okay, the epithet of a subgenus or section is not to be formed from the name of a genus to which it belongs by adding the prefix eu. Okay, so it should not be it should not be formed from the name of a genus. That subgenus who belongs to that genus, the name of that subgenus, sorry, is not from the is not taking from the that genus. Okay, okay, belongs to adding the prefix eu. Okay, this is the rule. Then name of a species, it is a binary combination comprising name of a genus followed by a single specific epithet. So every plant has two names, generic and the specific. So genus is written first and the species name is written after that. So genus name is always starts with a capital letter and the species name starts with a small letter. So it is a combination. When you want to write any scientific name of any plant, you must write the generic name first and the species name later. in that manner. That is the capital and the small. Okay, so it is a binary combination that comprises names of genus and followed by the name of a specific epithet, the specific name. Okay, if an epithet, that means if the name of the species, it consists of two or more words, these are to be united or hyphen. As like at that of the genus, when genus has two or more names, two words, then it should be united by hyphen. Same is the case is with species name. If a species name, it consists of two or more words, then these are to be united by hyphen. For example, hibiscus rosa sinensis. Hibiscus is the genus name. It is a single name. But rosa sinensis is the species name, and it contains two words, rosa and sinensis. And as you can see, it should be hyphen should be placed in between the rosa and sinensis. So the while writing these names, it is right in that manner, that is a hibiscus rosa hyphen sinensis. Okay, so this is the again the how to give the name or the write the name of a species. So to give the name of a intraspecific taxa, so below the species level, species and then intraspecific, subspecies or intraspecific taxa. So rank below the rank, that rank which below the rank of species. So it is again the combination of the name of a species and an intraspecific epithet connected by a term depicting its rank. So it is always the combination of species and the subspecies name. Okay, example, that is Saxifraga aizon. Saxifraga aizon is a genus and species name, but the sub species of aizon is variety aizon, subvariety brevifolia formia multicollis subforma circulosa angler and admixture. This is the name of the intraspecific taxa. So it should be written in that manner. Okay. Now the names of plants in cultivation. So those plants who are in cultivation, that is, they are not wild, but they are cultivated by the human beings. So how the name is given. So plants brought from the wild into cultivation, from the wild that is region, they have to cultivate into another region. So when they brought from that wild area into the cultivation, they retain the names that are applied to same taxa growing in nature. So as that is the wild name is retained, although it is cultivated in a particular area, so there is no difference. Okay, so the names of hybrids. So when we do the hybridization, that is when we that is in plant breeding, we have to breed two plants and make a hybrid. Then the hybrid plants, what are the rules to give the name to that hybrid plants? So hybrid nature is indicated by the use of the multiplication sign x. So when two plants are there and there is a hybridization in between these two plants, so the name of one plant and the name of another plant, but in between these two plants, the cross sign or the x sign or the multiplication sign should be written. Okay, this is the sign which shows that these two plants, they are hybridized. They are used for the hybridization process. Okay, so the use of this multiplication sign or by the addition of the prefix not fow notho term, or when you not applied the cross or the x sign or the multiplication sign, then you have to add the prefix not fow notho term denoting the rank of the taxon. Okay, so example, Agrostris stolonifera, that is multiplication, that is it is hybridized with the Polypogon monspeliensis. Okay, so the direction of a cross may be indicated by including the sexual symbols in the formula. That means which plant is taken as a female plant and which plant is taken as a male plant. So these symbols may also be written, or if you have to you can write the symbol also, or by placing the female parents first, or always there is a rule that the first parent that you write is the female parent. Okay, that means in that case the Agrostis stolonifera is considered as a female parent, or you can write the symbol of that. Okay, so this is the about the hybrid. Then legitimacy of names. To be legitimate, that is to give the lawful name to the that in particular specimen. So to be a legitimate, a name should be the first validly published name for the taxon. So to give the name to any particular taxon, it should be validly published. Okay, and that published, that is the later on proposed name, becomes a superfluous name. So the validly published name should be or must be given to a particular taxon while naming while giving the name. Okay, so the validly published name should be needed or should be necessary. Okay, then retention of names or epithets when taxa are divided or remodeled. Retention of names or epithets when taxa are divided or remodeled means when a genus is divided into two or more genera. Okay, when a particular genus is divided into two or more genus, the generic name, if correct, must be retained for one of them. Okay, when uh, two genus are there, when the one genus is divided into two, then how the name is given to the particular that genus, that if the generic name, if correct, must be retained for one of them, that is one of them out of these two, one of them it gives a correct name. Okay, only the name is given to one of them only. Okay, when a species, and same is the case of species, when a species is divided into two or more species, the specific name, if correct, must be retained to one of them. So one of the species, it must be retained, that is that name is retained to one of the two species, and the another species it will get a different name. So the correct name, if it is present, or correct name it is given to a particular already presenting species, and this species is divided into two, or this genus is divided into two, so the out of these two, the correct name will be given to the one of that genus. Okay, the same is the case of genus and species. Same procedure is followed when a subspecies is divided into two or more subspecies, or a variety into two or more variety. So this rule or this application, this applied to all the categories below the that is all the categories or all the taxa below the family level, that is genus, species, subspecies, variety. Okay, then the retention of epithets of taxa below the rank of genus on transference to another genus or species. So when a subdivision of genus, if you divide the genus into, that is subdivision subgenus, so this subdivision of genus is transferred to another genus, that is that subdivision that is this subdivision is obtained from or created from a particular genus, but this subdivision is not retained with that original genus, and it will be transferred to another genus. That may be the case, that is the part of that genus developed, that is that subdivision is developed from that genus, but that subdivision it is not retained with that original genus, but it will be transferred to another genus. When there is this is the case, then what will happen, that is that when it is transferred to another genus or placed under another generic name for the same genus without change of rank, that is subdivision, here is it is or subdivision, there is also it is a subdivision, that is rank will not be changed, rank is not changed, the rank is remain same, the epithet of its formerly correct name must usually be retained. So when this is the case, that when subdivision is transferred from their particular genus to another genus, okay, but their position or their rank is not changed, that here it is a subdivision rank, there also it is a subdivision rank, then the name of is formerly name, that is when it is present in first place, the name is it will have a particular name. That name will be returned to the when it goes to the another place. Okay, the name will not change, the name must usually be retained. Okay, when a species is transferred, same is the case. In case of species also, when the subspecies from a particular species is transferred to another species under another species name, then and the rank is not changed, then that the formerly given name is retained to the newly placed. Okay, so when an intraspecific taxon is transferred without change of rank to another genus or species, the final epithet of its formerly correct name generally be retained. The same is the case of intraspecific taxon also. Okay, so when there is no change in rank, then there is no change in name also. The name is retained. Okay, so this is the another rule is choice of names when taxa of the same rank are united. When two or more taxa of the same rank are united, when two genus or two species or two families, when they are united, okay, when two different species, two different genus, two different families, when they are united, they combine together, the earliest or the final epithet of earliest legitimate name is retained. So the name which has given earlier to a particular species, that earlier name will be considered here. Okay, that earlier name is retained here. And the author who first unite taxa and whatever may be the author who united that taxa, first united that taxa, bearing names of equal priority, must choose, that is that author has right to give a particular or to choose the one specific name from these two different names, from these two different taxa. Okay, he has an authority. So when he choose a particular, that is out of these two names, when he choose one name, then it will be considered. Okay, it may be a legitimate. The name he selects is then treated as having priority. Then if two genera, that is Dentaria, the name is given 1st May 1753, and Cardamine, it will also given at the same time, the name is also given at the same time, that is 1st May 1753. So under the priority basis both are equal. And when they are united, that is Dentaria and Cardamine, they are united, the resulting genus must be called Cardamine. So the what will given to that is the name is given to the Cardamine, that is the second genera. So why it is so? Because that name was chosen by that author, that is Krantz, who first to unite these two genera. So it has an authority to give the name as per his choice. Okay, so this is the case of choice of names. Then choice of names when the rank of a taxon is changed. When a taxon at the rank of family or below, it is changed. Okay, the another that is rank is correct in this that is legitimate name, that is choice of names when the rank of a taxon is changed, then so same is the case with the that of the choice of the names when taxa of the same rank are united. Okay, so this is the that is this is the something related about the rules of the taxonomy, that is the hierarchy or the while naming the names to a particular taxa. These are some of the rules you have to understand. So this is about the rules, and further that is further part of the taxonomy we will take it in next lecture. So still this is over today. Thank you very much.